Good afternoon, traders, and welcome to another edition of Awesomecallstrading.com video recap webinar. You know, I usually start by just kind of, being excited because I'm always excited because I'm a day trader, and this is a great way to make a living. But what I've realized, really have realized, is why we're doing these. I mean, if you think about it, why are we doing these? Why do we spend 30 minutes of our trading day um, to stop what we're doing to do these things? Um, and the end result is to educate. It really just comes down to education. It's informing a day trader who's new in the business, who's been established in the business, who's got a retirement account, who maybe sold a home and doesn't want to go work 9 to 5 somewhere, and they want to be free. I mean, imagine not having to answer to anyone. Think about it, except yourself or your wife or husband or significant other, But imagine just being your own boss. Day trading, it gives you that ability. But before you become a successful day trader, and what's successful? Successful is in the minds of everyone out there. It could be a guy, it could be a trader who makes 200 bucks a day is successful for that person. Somebody who makes 150 a day. Success is based on what you feel inside that you're accomplishing. If you want to make enough not to work for someone, then establish what it is that you need. If you say I need to make 5,000 a month, then I can get my apartment, have a car payment, insurance, and groceries, and I'm on my own. So that means you need to make $300 a day, 250, 300, 350 a day, which is feasible on a $5,000 account, $10,000 account, $2,000 account, depending on the buying power and your platform. So, but again, it still comes down to this vision and dream of I don't want to work for anybody but myself. I really don't want a job but myself. And a lot of people actually work because of health insurance. And yet, if you add that in your budget per month and say, like my health insurance is 600 bucks a month, right, through Blue Shield, and then I have dental, I pay 50 a month, and that covers my health insurance. But so that means that I have to make a certain amount of money to be able to cover my health insurance that comes automatically out of one of my accounts. So you can get your own health insurance, so just add that into your budget of survival. So instead of 5 grand, maybe you need six. Again, I come back to the point of these webinars is simply to give you the ability to learn, to get educated. Why does a stock do this? Why will a stock do that? Why will a stock do this? And the more you educate yourself and understand how the trade positions itself out of the gate or in the middle of the gate or mid-morning, and then you take a position and all of a sudden you're green and you make your money. How do you know that? How do you know that? You're in a room that constantly educates you and keeps educating you, never stops, right? Never stops, never stops, never stops. There's no socializing in Awesome Calls Trading. We're not here to find out what you're doing for the weekend. That's not what this room is built. This room is just constant alert, constant education, constant guidance. And what's the end result? You got a great feed. You got a great community of people that work hard every day to accomplish the goal. And I'm talking making 165, $303. Have you noticed the AJ Trader feed? I mean, have you really taken a notice how here's a trader right here just posting, I did 300% on my Boeing calls. I mean, 300 bucks, or I did Facebook 150% on my calls. Look at this. Look at this. Do you see this? And it's constant throughout the day from traders from all over. Here's Anthony M. Here's Chris M. Thousands and thousands, $4,000, $6,000 trade. Double 007 on I. Of course, Ali, can't forget without Ali. He's got his account, then he's got a small account challenge. You see my point? And you got Christian. I love Christian and Humble. Christian's an inspiration. This gentleman here, he's come in our room and just every day he works his ass off. And what do you say to that? What do you say? And then HH? I can go on and on. Brendan Foster? I mean, on. We could just keep talking. My point is these traders are proud of what they're accomplishing because why? Because why? Because they're being educated. They're actually understanding why the stock is moving. And I always keep saying this over and over and over and over. And I'll continue to say it till the day I die. A chart reader is great. Somebody who could read charts and technicals, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm proud of you. But to me, in day trading world, a day trader, news overpowers the chart. The event, the PR, or the noise on the stock overpowers the chart. You could imply the chart after you know what's going on with the stock. Right? Think about that for a second. A stock's going to move. Why? The stock is gapping up 8. Here comes the chart guy. Here comes the technical analysis. Here comes it. But it's up for a reason. All right? Case in point. You want to see a great trade? Okay, I'll show you. Today there's a call called RPM. I want you to look at this trade. Let's start with this. Okay? Here's RPM. Now, RPM is gapping up. Why? Why? Why is it even up? Why is it up from, from $59 and it's sitting up here at 61? Why is it up? Well, because they had great earnings. Okay, so you're gapping up. So what does a technical trader do? He starts to imply his ideas, his lines, where the stock should fit, where it should stop off, so he can go in there and short it or long it, right? But he wouldn't be doing that, or she would not be doing that, if there was no news event on it. What if it was just trading flat like it did yesterday? There's nothing to trade. Look, you see my point? There's not even a volume, and there's just nothing here. Look at 59.12 to 59.30. You got to make money on 20 cents? I mean, you might as well trade Siri for a penny. I mean, you see my point? There's no trade in this until an event is occurred. An event could be a buyout, a PR, a noise on it, chatter, an investor, earnings, analyst. That's where AJ comes in. There's my niche right there. The guy that reads and interprets the news. That is Awesome Calls Trading. That's what makes and defines Awesome Calls. They don't just trade the chart. They trade the event. They trade the news. All right. They trade the gap up and gap downs accordingly. So that's what they do. Okay. So as we put this together now, I want you to see the call. So here I come in and I see earnings. I first have to read the report. First and foremost, read the report. So I read the report. Okay. So then the second thing I do after reading the report is I determine that the stock is going to make a solid pop out of the gate. Now, as a trader, I've been trading for 15, 16 years. I want to identify where the stock will probably top off. So I'm thinking the stock should probably run to probably when I looked at this, I said the stock will probably push out of the gate towards 63. And then we'll get some sort of topping and scaling short and then fade it back down to 60. And the call was to 60. Okay, so I want you to see the call. All right, ready? That's right here. RPM, right here. Earnings, gapping up. So I'm giving you the reason. The why. Earnings beat. Okay, gapping up 2. I want to pop to 63 and then look forward it faded to 60. If it pulls at the open to 60, then go to 63. Okay, so I'm giving you the idea that the stock is going to pop. Now, what makes it even this trade so great is it pops, right? And it hits that 63. And it hits 63. Well, the stock continued to run a little bit. And that's where the great technical traders, the pros, come in and they'll go, okay, AJ, I see you're 63. I think it's got a little bit more, and then it'll get tired. And this is where scaling in is important. AJ said it should top up at 63. Well, it didn't. So, But if you took 150 or 200 shares, you took a quarter position to start, it gave it to 64, you added another 100 shares. Now you did this correctly, you scaled in, and then one of our great traders, Fire, comes in and he sees it starting to top off. Right here, it's starting to top off. The lower low set in. He immediately puts out a call. I'm going to start scaling in short here at around 63.85 to 64. It stops at high of the day. So stops are at 64.10 or 64.20. So now the room is starting to get into the trade. Now you got confirmation. It's starting to get tired. You got confirmation for one of the great technical traders in the room and how he set it up. You got the call to go long, so you made money that way. Now it's time to get this thing to fade off. AJ said the stock will come back down to 60 per his notes. Now look, ding, 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 ding. There's the pop. There's your scaling in. There's your ad. And guess where it hit? Look at it, $60 a share. You see how a trade was formed from start to finish, how it was identified, where it was going to go, and where it was going to come back. Why do we know this? Why is your room that you're in, they don't do this? And they can't. They can't. It's you can't be mean to them. They're not seasoned. They're kids. They've been trading 2 or 3 years. They might be really smart in certain areas. Some might be trading 5 years. 6 years, that's great, but you don't got enough under your belt. You're still learning the game. My first probably 7, 8 years, fuck, I was just learning. It was a process. It was a journey. So when you have a chat room, the point of the chat room is to educate the trader why a stock is going to do what it does. And then when it does it and it's done and it's complete, then you could sit back and go, okay, now I know how to trade the next time. And this is what makes this room so special. I'm going to give you another trade, okay? Tesla. I want you to look at this call. The very moment I walked in the room. Now, we all know the Tesla issues. There's no question the Tesla issues. We all know them, all right? So we've got these Tesla issues coming out left and right? And now the inventory and all this is down, and he can't sell as many cars. He's cutting his production. That's horrible. That's horrific for the stock. But Tesla's like iconic stock. And there are certain areas like Boeing. When Boeing hit, what did I say? 365 you buy, 370 you buy, 360 you add. That's it. There's a baseline for Boeing. You don't screw around with Boeing. All right? Stock is what, 400 a day? All right? Every time it dipped 360, 365, 370, I was a buyer. Remember when all that happened? Every day I played Boeing. Every day I played Boeing. Why am I playing Tesla today and didn't play it yesterday? Because Tesla had some reason for it to gap down 30 points. You better be damn sure that AJ Trader is going to be one of the top dogs, going to be all over Tesla if it's down 30 points. Because you know why? Because I'm one of the best fucking traders in the world. I know, and I have immediately identified with no fucking hesitation that I am a buyer at 260 level. Yes. Do I understand the news? Yes. Do I give a fuck all these 3,000 analysts are telling me the stock's worth $100? No, I don't give a shit. Do I care about my, my chart readers that are telling me technically this should break down to here? No, I don't. I don't listen to anybody but me. Me tells me I have to be a buyer at 260. This is down way too much. These are the technical levels where investors will either come in or shorts will cover. I think the stock will get bought up here. I've seen it many times. There's two levels, 260 and 250, and they eat it up. I think it's a buying opportunity being created today. I'm going long at 260.77. As soon as I walk in the room, I'm going to notify the room my entry. That was the call. And I said the stock should go to 265 to 266. Dark Side immediately made a call and said the stock will actually, in my opinion, go to 267.18. When it hits, I'm out. You see my point? You see how one of the great technical traders walked in the room, looked at my call, looked what I said, and then turned around when it starts to make the move. The technical trader came in and put those up and made the decision. This is actually going to go higher than what you think, AJ. You see that? You see that? That's not only teamwork, but it gives the trader the ability to understand why. Now, the trader's looking, how did you know that? How did you know that? How did I know that? Because how did Darkside know that? Because as the stock is making a move from a technical standpoint, he has, just like Janny, Fire, Darkside, they all know exactly from a technical standpoint where the stock should go based on their EMAs, their lines, and their chart patterns, right? AJ doesn't see any of that. AJ just simply sees what the investor, the eyes of the investor, the eyes of Wall Street. I envision what Wall Street wants to do with this stock, all right, and where they want to buy it and where shorts are going to cover. That's what I do. I'm so in tune with the market that I can look at any stock anywhere from Google to Priceline to anything you think. This is why I do what I do. So today's call was the number one pick in the chat room, right? So here's the number one pick in the chat room. Gapping down. This is a psychological number, right? All right. So I want to grab it, all right, long at 260.67. All right, I want to take some 50 cents and then add some more. I want to get some in the stock and more at 262.17. The stock actually popped and I got out at 262.17. I was done and it continued to go up. You see that? And I said, if it pulls a little bit more, watch the 250 number because they'll buy it up there as well. And Tesla is like Boeing at 365. You see how many points and all this stuff that I showed you? And I really wanted to point it out to you so you could understand why you need to buy it. Okay. Right here, somebody just pointed out, AJ, what's that 205? This was actually, it meant 2 to 5 point bounce. I was planning, if you look at the, I was trying to put zero, the hyphen, instead it hit 0. So I don't know why it said 205. But anyway, 260 was a psychological number. I went long, 260.67. And then I sold it at 262.17. The stock went to 265, and actually Darkside walked all the way up to 267. So now, what does that tell a trader? Now that tells a trader the next time Tesla's down 30 or 40 points, that trader is not going to be afraid to take 150 shares, 175 shares, 200 shares. He's going to trust the process. He's going to trust the professor. He's going to trust what the room is offering and saying, look, for your $6 today, I'm telling you right now, Tesla's going to pipe 5 or 6 points out of the gate. And just like Cleveland, here's your entry. And you know what's interesting? Even at my 260.67 entry, everyone was getting better in pre-market than I did. I mean, people were getting at 40s and 50s and 52s. But the minute the bell, oh, look at the bell. See, as soon as the bell rang, look. Even some people picked it up at 260 down here when it pulled. And look where it went. And it was grinding here for a while. And I could just tell they were going to hold it in pre-market. So I went long, and it paid. And it paid very well. And then, bam, there's your paycheck. Now, did it hit the 265 level? There it is, 265. Did it hit the 267 level? Yep, there it is, the dark side level. So it gave traders the ability to make money on a simple stock as Tesla. Now, I want you to see another trade that you probably didn't trade today. Stars. Look at this baby. Now, Stars had earnings today. Okay, they had earnings today. So with those earnings, it was actually popping up this morning to 186. So that caught my eye. Then it just dumped. So that kind of caught my eye. Then I looked at yesterday's close on yesterday's after hour action, and I saw the 173, and I said, you know what? Then it popped this morning. Then it pulled again. You know what I did? From a technical probably standpoint, if you were to chart this, you would have probably been lost. But for me, because I have a feel for the market, a feel for the stock, and I've traded it for 10, 12 years, I know it's a buying opportunity at 177, 178. I know it's a buying opportunity. And so what do? I inform the chat room that you need to buy the stock down here at 177, 178. And I want it to pop to 184 or more. Okay? If the stock pulls, don't worry, just add to it. You see that? I'm playing a stock that has earnings. I have playing a stock that is gapping, and it's actually gapping almost flat because it closed at 179. And yet, look at my call. I want long here at 177, 178 for a 184 pop. Now, your room is never going to give you this kind of trade ever. They can't. They can't. It's not who they are. And so you'll never see a trade like this. You'll never have the opportunity unless you're in a room like this. Okay? And I want you to see the trade, how it could have literally made you your whole day here. Look, you see this? There's your entry this morning. Remember I said 177, 178? There's 178. Look where it hit, 184. In literally, what, 14 minutes? Then it consolidated and ripped again. Now look at the stock today, 191. If you're an option trader and you couldn't trade 500 shares on the equity side, you could have bought $4,000 worth of contracts, bought 190 calls. Look where you'd be. Probably be up over 3,000%. You see my point? Always a trade to be able to make money, serious money, if you just know where the stock is going to go and why. Okay? I'm going to give you another one. Now, you're looking at this and you're saying, God, you make it sound so simple. But when I'm actually watching it live, it's not so simple because I'm freaking out because, one, everything is doing what you said, which is blowing my fucking mind. And that takes time. You have to just relax. Like, you know, and what I'm doing in the morning is I'm guiding traders. I'm calling out entries, exits, entries, exits, entries, exits. Okay, this is the topping. Scale in short here, add here, make sure, stop here. Because I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of traders trying to make their living. And they're counting on every word that I say. Okay? And so look at Roku. Here's Roku. It closed at what? $69 yesterday, right? It's gapping down to 66. Of course it's going to catch my eye. I'm seeing it cross the boards, cross the scanners. Why is it down? Why is it down? First question. Okay? A technical trader, again, cannot identify exactly where it's going to pull to until he identifies why it's even in play. Well, this one got a downgrade from Guggenheim. Guggenheim is a nobody. They really aren't. They're not anything special. But today, they discounted the price and made it from 77 to 72. So because the way the market was trending, I felt Roku would be a great short. But before I short it, I want to pop it. I want the shorts to cover that overnighted. Not very many overnight is short, but I just want them to cover at the open towards 68, and then I want to sell it off. My goal is to go 65, 64, bottom curl it. The more it goes, great. I'll find out those breakout points. I'll know when it's coming down. All right? And I want you to see the call. So again, I come in, I identify it, right, on Roku, number 7, lucky number 7, pop it towards 68, and then take it down 3 points, which is 65. See? 64 to 65. You see my point? Again, I'm giving you this reason for the gap down. I'm explaining in detail where the stock's going to go and how many points you're going to make on the trade. I'm educating you. I'm teaching you. Okay? So when you find this stock next time, you could do the same thing. Oh, this is gapping down. Now I know why. This makes sense. Okay? So I'm going to short the stock. Look where I said it would go. 68. It hit 67.85. And here's your 64 to cover. You see how beautiful that is? So if you had 500 shares at 68 and you got 4 points, you made $2,000 on 30,000 buying power. One trade, one execution. Why do people get so afraid and scared and fear they're wrong? Because they don't understand why it's coming down. And the more you understand the movement of the stock, the better trader you will become. If you know, and how did I know? I was identifying chart patterns in a sense that I was pulling up my 20 days and I I had a doctor in here, and I had a lot of doctors in here. I had a doctor in here that was in between patients, and she was asking me over and over, "Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go? Where's it going to go?" Because she was trading the stock in between patients. Okay, so I kept identifying, I kept pulling it up. I'm like, okay, see this gap here? I'm going to fill this one here. Everyone goes short right here. Take 66.50. It's going to pull. I'm going to grab you 50 cents. I'm going to grab you $1. This is live. You should have seen me. I was all over this baby. And then once it pulled here, filled the gap, I said cover. So it zooped right back up, 50 cents to $1. Then it got tired again, and it sold off more. But again, the reason why we even took the trade. If there was no noise on this trade and no analyst upgrade or downgrade, this trade would not exist today to me. Then you would get an RPM. Because why? Because a trade would be just trading in range. There's no trade. 50 cents, that's not a trade. That doesn't work for us. Okay, we have to have range. Range pays our bills. You want to see Tesla right now, what it's doing? You see what I keep telling you and trying to teach you over and over? You can't get emotional over Tesla. You just have to understand Tesla. There's a difference between an emotional trader and a professional trader. A professional says, buy the weakness. This is where they're going to buy it. An emotional trader goes, I don't think so. I was reading in a chat room, and then I saw a Twitter feed, and then I saw an analyst, and they all said the opposite of you. Well, that's because they're fucking stupid. They don't get the stock. Okay? I'm not fucking stupid. Buy the stock. Now it's up 10 points. Okay? I have learned more than anything in the world to zone out noise. And if you come into our room, there is no noise. You don't see a newbie trader coming in with their opinion. Well, I think you're wrong. I'm not going to do that trade. Well, you know, really, I don't really give a fuck. Just watch and learn, okay? But what I love about the room is I surround myself with professional day traders that do this for a living, like a Janny, like a Darkside, like a Fire, a Raphael, and a B Trades. And instead of us bickering and saying this isn't going to work, da 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 da, we're all on the same page. You see that? So I'm pushing the stock. Janny's got his numbers. Darkside puts his numbers in, and look, we all win because all of us collectively saw the same thing. Once it started to take off, it was on. So Anthony, AJ, would you long Tesla here? You could scalp trade it long. There's obviously great noise going on. Probably something to do with the court issues or something. Maybe something positive, and just 50 shares, 100 shares, and maybe take it to 274 right here. Okay. Mr. Patel, if there's a university for master and day trading, then AJ would be the dean of the university. Well, thank you. Well, I always said I'm the professor, right? Every time I click a button here, Adobe pops up sometimes. Anyway. So let's go into another one. I want to give you I. I is a continuation of yesterday, and I want you to see how I worked in this room. Okay. I is heading towards 1819. JP Morgan yesterday issued a $27 price target on this. But what made this trade so very special in the room was the way that it gapped up. Now you could see how it trades between $15 and $16 every day, pretty much. That's the range. But when you tag on a $27 price target, okay, what happens is the stock gaps up and pushes. Why? Because now there's more eyes on it. Investors want to pick it up and so forth. So you're going to get a push, and shorts want to get out of it. They don't want to get involved in a JP Morgan upgrade to $27. So yesterday, the call in the room was short 17.25 and take it down to 16 and under. Well, this stock ended up bottoming out around 15.40. I told everyone start buying it up, and the stock should head back towards 17 and then probably 18, 19 over the next few days. And as you can see, the stock almost hit 17 today. It's just, this is a process of understanding how a stock's going to work, where it's going to go, and again, why. Why would you buy this, AJ? Well, because you got a $27 price target. It's only 16 bucks. Where do you think it's going to go? It can't go down, you know? I want you to take a look at another one that we did in here, MU. Now, I don't really trade MU Like some of these other rooms that, oh my God, they traded every day for 20 cents, 30 cents, and they just, I mean, they literally have DVDs and like 50 DVDs just on how to trade an MU chart. And we don't do that in here. This is MU. I was gapping down a point and a half. Of course, it's got my attention. I want to be all over it, but I want to know why first. Again, the why. Why is it down? Here's where it closed, and here's where it opened up in pre-market. And I'm going to, you don't think that's going to get my attention? Hello? So first thing I do is I find out the why. So I go to my scan, I punch it up, right? I punch up MU, and I find it. And boom, Morgan Stanley has decided to, cut the price target on it. Now, Morgan is not a fan of MU. So their downgrades don't really give too much validation. And I mean that sincerely because what happens is they've always had a really weak price target on MU. Okay. So by adding an extra, you know, underweight to it or whatever they want to call it or downgrading again, it's going to pull the stock a couple of points, but it's not going to be like an all day or what do you call it? A short swing. You know what I mean? There's just too many other top tier analysts like the J.P. Morgans, the Oppenheimers, the Goldman Sachs. They're going to be in disagreement of Morgan Stanley's call, and so the stock's only given to give you enough play for about a point or two. Now you have to know how to play it. Knowing that, now I have to educate the traders so he doesn't go in there thinking to buy $35 puts because it's not going to happen. You have to understand this is just the opinion of Morgan Stanley. The stock is too strong and too much. There's too much investors in there for that to be pulled. It's like Tesla. It's like somebody come out and say we have a 180 price target on Tesla. Well, that's not going to happen. So shut up. Okay. So MU is gapping down. So my first instinct is on MU is I want to pop the stock as high as I can get to that 43 level here. See that? I want to get it up as much as possible as I can. So I got the call to go pop at the open. So long the open off of 42, take it up, scale in short, and then write it down. Now, from an option standpoint, if you had followed this on these lines here from 43.30 to 42.30, you could have made a fortune on the option side because it was in play for us. And I basically hand walked traders on this trade here from 43.20 all the way back down. Gave them almost a point on the trade. And here was the call on it. MU. I want the stock to hit 43.25 and I want you to take it down. Hopefully we'll get a 40-40-50. Now, obviously that's the dream, right? But in reality, the stock hit exactly where I wanted, 43.25. You can see it right here. See the topping? 43.25. This is a fat finger, but you see the topping? 43.25. See how it topped? Now I want to take it down. And that was that trade. I want to give you another one called Facebook. Most of you should be familiar with Facebook and how to trade it. Now, Facebook got a really nice upgrade this morning from, I believe it was Facebook, Guggenheim again. Now, Guggenheim put a $200 price target on it. All right. So I think they're the first of the bandwagon. I think investors kind of sense that more are coming, and I sense it too. But the stock was, it closed at 173, so it was gapping up a little bit, almost 2 points. I wanted to long the stock at 174.50, and I wanted the stock to go to $178 today, and then short it. How do I know this? How do I know this? I didn't trade Facebook yesterday or last week or 3 weeks ago. How do I know these targets? When you do this every day in this room, in this room, in this room, you start to visualize and see it for yourself. So from an option trader standpoint, imagine buying options on this target at 178 at the opening bell and just loading up contracts at 178. Hey AJ said 178. Fuck it. I'm gonna load up 500 contracts, 300 contracts, whatever, 100 contracts. I'm just gonna load the boat. The man said with this upgrade, he said it's gonna hit 178 and then I can short it. Okay, so no matter what it is in pre-market, the man wrote 45 minutes before the open, stock's going to hit 178. Why? Because I understand this stock, just like I understand any other stock. This is what will always set me apart from any other trader in the world. Now you want to see the stock? Okay. Long 174.50. And where did I say the stock would go to and stop? 174.50 long pre-market. Where did I say it would go to? 178. And guess where it stopped? 178. Being in the right room with the right understanding of how a stock is going to work makes all the difference in the world. That's how you get paid. That's how you make a living. Understand the move and the reason why, get paid. Execute the trade. Okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So those are the 7 trades I wanted to go over. RPM, MU, Tesla, Stars, Roku, I, and Facebook. I wanted to show you these because they will give you all the opportunities. And I'm going to do this all over again. I do this 5 days a week for every trader that walks in for $6 a day. I mean, that's what I do because they're paying good money to make good money. So a trader should be making really great money in this kind of environment. I also want to go over a couple things that had come out. An IPO MGM. I've been hot on this one, but in my pre-market notes, I said the stock needed to open up with 750 to a million to get excited and run out of gate. The stock did not. It opened up with 400,000 shares. I believe Darkside was in the room when it came out, and he let everyone know I wouldn't be buying it. This is a Myrna all over again. I wait for the stock to hit the $12 area and probably buy the stock then. It's a great stock, great company. I like it, like I loved Myrna when everybody was hating on me. The stock collapsed on Myrna 13, and now it's at 24. This is the same thing here, NGM. So just wait for it to come down. Then we had another one that I liked, TW. Problem is with TW is it has 67 million shares. Came out of the gate with about 9 million. It's already done about 30 million, 32 million. A little bit tighter. Good company, but just has a lot of shares. So we weren't going to get that initial huge pop that I looked for. The other one I liked was Silk. I enjoyed Silk. I thought Silk was a good trade. Problem I did not like. I don't mind taking Silk here to 40. If you nibble some, just have room to add and only use 100 to 200 shares tops because it will pull a 1.5. See the pulls. But Silk is good. I did like it. Problem it is that they priced, I believe, at 27 or 28, 27, I think, and they opened up at 35. And that was it's just, they basically took all of our retail money away. So by opening it up at 35, I mean, you only got up $3. Typically, if we had opened up with that kind of volume out of the gate and the stock had opened up at 30, we would be getting the 8 points instead of only getting a few points. So that's what happens when they open up too much, too high. But I do like it. These were the 3 that I did pick. I picked TW, Silk, and I like NGM, like I liked Myrna. And that's it. So that is today's webinar. I want to thank you so much for being a part of this great. I hope you learned a lot, and I hope I was able to help you. Don't forget that you have Discord to be a part of, run by the Great Dark Side. All the mods are in there, and it's a great community of traders building every day. Currently, right now, there is 1,119, over 233 online right now you can talk to. And then you can always visit my YouTube channel, which is right here, Awesomecalls Trading. And these are all over 100 and some odd of them, tons of them. Okay, so thank you, and I will see you tomorrow. We'll do this all over again. Take care. Bye-bye.